New developments in the case of Affluenza teen Ethan Couch. His family has hired a high-profile attorney to represent him after he was arrested in Mexico for missing a probation meeting.
Look at that mugshot picture. Ethan's mother is accused of helping him evade court and police, and she's due in court tomorrow. Crimesider's Graham Cates is here to talk about this. Hey, Graham.
Hey.
So, all right, let's start with this term, affluenza. For people who are not familiar with this story, even though it's been on news for weeks now,
Non-stop.
What does that mean?
So Affluenza came up during his trial. He was charged with killing 4 people in a drunk driving accident in Texas. And a psychiatrist who was called by his defense attorneys said that he had affluenza, which meant that because of his kind of wealthy, privileged upbringing, he wasn't able to understand consequences.
Affluent.
That's
right.
Yes.
He doesn't have the flu. He's from an affluent family.
He comes from an affluent family. So what's expected tomorrow at this hearing?
Tanya Couch, that's his mother. She helped him escape to Mexico, authorities say. She's in Los Angeles, where she was sent by Mexican authorities, and they're going to consider extraditing her to Texas. At this point, her attorneys have said that they're not going to contest the extradition, that she wants to come back to Texas. But of course, we won't know that for sure until the hearing actually happens tomorrow.
Talk to us about this new attorney expected to fight to leave Couch in Mexico. What's the justification for that, and why does he want to keep him in Mexico?
This guy's name is Fernando Benitez, and he's kind of made a name for himself representing Americans in Mexico. And what he's saying is that they were going to deport Ethan Couch, and they really should have done a formal extradition process. And the difference is that extradition takes much longer than deportation does. And what he was saying is that the deportation idea was a way for Mexican and American authorities to kind of do an end run around the traditional process. And what he's arguing, and he did an interview with BBC where he kind of laid out his case a little bit. He said the United States is going to have to make this argument that this guy who had pled guilty as a juvenile was convicted, that all of a sudden we're not happy with his sentence 5 years later, and that's why we want him back in the country. And he said, and this is a quote, "Mexico is never going to go along with that."
So, I mean, we have to keep remembering that he killed 4 people, right? I mean, that's what this story is about. You spoke with an official at the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office in Texas. What did they say about this case?
Tarrant County put a lot of resources into finding him before they knew he was in Mexico. And what they said was, while that may not have cost the county a lot of extra money, it did mean taking resources from other cases, detectives, from other robberies, murders, that kind of thing. And what they're saying is that it's because of how important the case is to people in the county. And what they're saying now is they're worried that he's going to be in Mexico until his birthday in April, which will change kind of the way the case works.
And just really quickly, what kind of a reputation has this lawyer established for himself in Mexico?
He's really famous. He keeps getting described as a rock star. He's represented really high-profile cases. He's just kind of he's a big name there.
And I mean, the mom, she's facing some charges, some serious charges now, right? I mean, this is a big deal.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about this case now is that she could end up being in prison longer than he might. The charge of helping him hindering the apprehension of Ethan Couch could lead her to prison for up to 10 years even.
All right, Graham Cates, thank you very much. Remember, you can track investigations like this and read up on the big crime stories of the day at cbsnews.com/Crimesider.